G'day guys, and welcome to World of Tanks with the Magnificent Margon. Well, I said that I was going to do this on the weekend, and I never got around to it, so I have time now. Now, I was going to briefly cover vehicle upgrades or mounting of gear and equipment stuff, and I was going to do briefly about consumables. So basically, not all of the what do you call these things? They're improvements to your tanks, basically, that you mount on. Not all of them can go on all the tanks, but most of them can go on different tanks. So, well, I'm on my Tiger 2, as you can see. Finally got this last night. So yes, so well, I guess maybe what we'll do is I'll unselect that and go to tier 1, and we'll select a tier 1 tank. Now we'll just do it to the British tree because I have British right through from 1 to 10. That might make it easier for me, so I can go through and have a good look at things, and then make sure we sort of cover them as you progress. Might take a little bit longer than I planned, but either way, it's the way it goes sometimes. So here we go, the Mark 1 Vicar. Now this was actually a Christmas tank for this year's Christmas, so I've only played a couple of battles on it, so it's not that great a tank. I don't think I'll play. Hang on. No, that wasn't the Christmas tank, it was another tank. There we go, the light Mark one, the light Mark Vicar. My bad, wrong way around. This is Christmas one. That's what I was thinking. Why is my Christmas one got a red team? That's the Christmas one. So that's tier 2. So here we go, tier 1, and in the mounting gear, as you can see, it's not as big a list as the Tiger 2. So toolbox, simple, just increases your repair speed by 25%. Enhanced gun laying drive. It basically the aiming speed is increased by 10%. So you might stop dead, and your reticule, or that circle on your screen, is at full after you've been running around, moving a turret, bouncing around the terrain. So what this does is allow the reaction time of everything stabilizing and balancing up to get smaller and really accurate much quicker by 10%. As long as you work that with, say, your cruise skills of snapshot and smooth ride and things like that, it comes in handy and works well for you. Next thing is coated opticals. Now these things pretty well stay the same most of the way through. They don't vary in any way, shape or form. So coated opticals gives you 10% of your view range and up to 500. So for instance, the view range on this tank, I'll move this so I can read it, is, where is it? I can't even read at the moment. It's normally down the bottom, that's why I can't see it. Let's see. Twist it around until we get into a position I can read it. There we go, view range. So this is 280. So 10% of 280 is 0.8, so it becomes 288 meters. So something like that, for instance, is with coated opticals. Now, this is also happening, I believe, while you're driving on these ones, I believe. Yes, coated opticals work while you're driving, whereas the binocular telescopes, they give you 25% view range, so that would nearly give you close to 300 view range on this tank, and that goes up to 500 meters basically. But the great advantage of this is, with that 25%, you have to be sitting still for the driver to get in the position, or the gunner to look through these coated opticals, or sorry, it's your commander that be using these, to be able to see the enemy. So the tank has to be still, and then you wait a few seconds and it comes up. Same as what the camo net does. The camo net does the same thing. You have to be sitting still for them to crew to run out, throw the net over, cover the tank, get back in, so to speak. So that just reduces the detection chance or your vehicle stationary. So, for instance, on a light tank, being a passive spotter, generally these two together work very well. So you could be pulled right up inside that bush before anyone can see you, because you keep a camo rating. You throw your camo net over the top, bigger rating. At the same time, your binocular telescopes come online, which then gives you that huge view range, and you can spot most of the targets. So they work well together. Some people use curved opticals instead of that, so it just depends upon what kind of tank you want to be, whether in a passive spotting mode. So, which is good. And then improved ventilation also works well together. Just improves 5% of all your cruise skills. I do put that on a lot of my tanks. If I click on the FV215, there it is there. Conqueror, it has it. Carnarvon has it. Black Prince, it doesn't have it. I didn't put it on the Black Prince. It was just something that it didn't need. So it's not for every tank. It just depends upon what you want to use it for. Now, a light spoil liner is basically gives you 20% to armor protection from ramming. So when you ram something and explosion, so whatever HE hits you, something like that, it gives you that extra strength in your armor. It also does 20% protection for your crew, which is great. That little bit more protection and a little bit less damage you're going to take. So, say for instance you're in the 100 or the Mouse, which is they're the heaviest tanks, and they can get up some wicked speed. Some people will put them in deliberately, so if they roll down that hill and your little light tank or medium tank is in front of them, they're going to do maximum damage and minimum damage themselves, and even keep their crews alive. So that's the idea behind the spoiler. Now, I believe it comes in medium, it comes in heavy. If I look at the FV215, I think it can have it. Yep, there it is, super heavy. So they just changed the name, and like this one gives you 50%. So more or less, I'll go over the basic ones, but as you can see, it gets 50% being a super heavy one to give that really. So basically, your crew will survive, or from a HE explosion or ramming, and it will protect the crew too. So you won't take that much damage. So it just depends upon the tank, the level, and things like that. Next on length, I've covered ventilation, 5% to your crew skills, so all these guys here would get an extra 5% on their percentages, plus all these other little skills that they work up, so it just helps them. Plus, your gunner may get more accurate, your reload time goes faster, so they're all the things. It basically affects all those little things. Enhanced vertical leaf springs, that pretty well is... Well, it's basically pretty explicit. It increases the load just slightly by 10%, the way it looks. Increases the durability by 20%, and minus 50 hull damage caused by suspension during impact. So if you hit that suspension, it's going to take 50%. So it's not bad if you find, like, maybe I probably could have put that on, say, my Churchill 7 or even the Churchill itself. Now, it's commonly, very, very commonly losing its tracks, very prone. So maybe putting on that will give my tracks a little bit more durability, so that I don't get detractors off. And that's a good thing for me to test. I might test that. And maybe, I don't really understand it that much, but maybe that's what it does. Who knows? So we'll go to 2. Have a look in here. Nothing different. 3. Nothing different. Forget the tier 5. Let's go to tier 5. Okay, so we got the gun rammers. Now, we didn't have that on any of the other ones. Now, as you can see, this is called a medium. Now, I'm sure there's a light, there's a heavy, and probably even a super heavy. Click on this. Gun rammer on this is, well, it's large caliber. So it increases your gun reload rate. Well, it takes your gun reload time down by 10%. Is it the same down here on the AT2? Yep, Yes, it is. So it doesn't really matter what they call it. The gun rammer takes 10% off your reload time on your tank, which is awesome. Comes in handy very well. Now here's another one, the new one that I haven't covered yet. Wet ammo rack. Now class 1. Let's see, Conqueror. I've put one on him. He's class 2. Still the same. 50% durability. Now these are for tanks. Generally, it's not the matter of running into water and your bullets get sour and stuff like that. It's giving you the durability. So Conqueror is one of those tanks that gets ammo racked all the time. Gee, I can't talk today. Bit strange for me not being able to talk. Most people who know me and probably pay attention to this know that I love to talk. So it's a bit strange. I'm getting tongue-tied. So there you go. Sometimes I just can't get words out, people. So yes, because this is very commonly ammo racked, I put that on. And at the time, I was training my team. Now, if I go to my FV215B and we look at the loader, he has safe stowage, which I covered. That was on Conqueror. Conqueror no longer has that, so I've had to put the wet ammo rack back on just so I have that bit of extra protection. Probably once I've done that, knowing me, I'll go and put gun laying drive just to speed up that aiming time while I've sat still. So that's what I'll probably do there. They're little things, or I'll put a vertical stabilizer on. A lot of people put vertical stabilizers on. I haven't used too many of them, but there's not much difference. Now here's another new one. So we were just talking about, that was the caliber. So 10% off your reload time. So you may shoot once every, say, 6 seconds. So instead of being 6 seconds, 10% off, you're basically shooting once every 5.4 seconds, for instance. So big rate of fire there. It will help you out quite a lot at those certain circumstances when you need that rate of fire. Like if you're fighting against, I don't know, an E100 or something like that, you could probably get 2 shots off with FV215B or even the Conqueror with Top Gun and so forth. So it is something that I put nearly gun rammer on all my tanks just to have that little bit more speed about shooting. Just goes a long way. Fill tanks with CO2. Now I haven't done this. I don't come across too many tanks I actually get very commonly my fuel tanks hit. So I'm sure there are tanks out there that get hit all the time, and that's why you have this as a plus 50% to your durability, just to make them a bit tougher so you don't. Now I've never really noticed that it might not be true, but whenever I've had my tanks damaged in their fuel tanks, I've never actually seen it affect the tank in any way, shape or form. It might actually. It might be so minute that it affects the tank that I'm not noticing it. So yes, so that's that. Now let's have a look around, see if there's anything else that I haven't covered. There are normally a heap of them. Go back to Conqueror. Okay, that we've done, 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 that we've done. So that might be all of them. That looks like we've pretty well covered it. Let's have a look on TOG. TOG, there you go. There's the TOG, everyone. Everybody loves TOG. You probably see that a lot of my tanks have on them Dogs of War. I have deliberately chosen that name because it was my Warhammer army that I used to play. As soon as I saw it, I went, Dogs of War, that's my army. That's what I will put on my British tanks. And it's a pity that I couldn't put anything like that on any of my other tanks, but all my British tanks get stamped with Dogs of War. So, just a little bit of trivia for you guys about me. So, yeah, little trivia, a little bit of a note. So that looks like that's all the tank mounting options. There probably are a few more. I'm not seeing them at the moment. Looks like I've covered them all. If I quickly click around all my different tanks. Yep, and as I said, they all change different names. Like you can see here, medium, we had large, super heavy. So those sort of ones change. You've got medium caliber, large caliber, probably it was just light caliber. Go look at his. Doesn't have a gun rammer. Alright, go look at you. You don't have a gun rammer. What's the point of these tanks? None of them have a gun rammer. I give up. Who cares now? Who cares? So that's pretty well what the gun and the tank enhancement mods do. So if we go into here now in consumables, which is in your service log, very easy to get to. You can either click on here, click on your bullets, or you can just quite simply hit on service down here. Now each tank is different. Each different country has a different thing. Like as you can see here, the British have pudding and tea. Now pudding and tea increases crew skills and perks by 10%. Now that can come in handy in battles. I have never used it myself, but maybe I should equip it on. Now, as you can see, it costs gold. So if I click here and go to the scroll down list, it doesn't cost gold anymore. Same as premium round shots. Premium round shots, you can choose to pay gold or just normal silver. So that's pretty cool. But it just means that you want to use them, it's going to cost you a lot more, or you can just use your gold. Far out, I've got to stop yawning. Now you can go next to your large repair kit. Now the thing is, you've got to note with these perks, that is a permanent thing, that it gives 10% to your skills no matter what. So every time you jump into a battle, I don't know whether it costs you every battle or not. It probably does. Now, large repair kit, it doesn't cost you every battle unless you use it, but the permanent buff that it gets, as you can see, is 10% to speed of modular repairs. So, say you get detracked, that helps you in repairing faster. So if you've got your crew all 100% repairs, plus that 10%, that's 110%. That's how fast you're going to put that track on. So say it's like a 8-second to basically retrack yourself. It could be like a 3 seconds to retrack yourself, something like that. So it does go a long way to helping in that, just that little bit and things like that. So most of my tanks, I do put it on just to have that extra speed when repairing, because I only train my crews in repairs all the time. Same for first aid. But the large ones, they repair a heap of modulars at once. So you only really use it if you desperately need to put your track up because you're going to die. Or if you're just going to die, just die and don't use it because it costs you money otherwise. So it's cost you 20,000 as you saw. But otherwise, that little bit of extra speed can come in handy. Next, we have the large first aid kit. Now it gives you 15% protection to your crew getting injured. Amazing, and that can work with that spoil liner ramming protection or HE protection. Now that was funny, I just did the inverted commas with my fingers basically, sort of thing. I don't know why. So that will help out you there. Now I do put this on because I like to try and keep my crew in a healthier position. It doesn't always work. Like you have a tiger, for instance. I seem to have my driver die all the time in my FV215B. My commander seems to die. It's just one of those things where sometimes they just die, and no matter what protection you put on them, it's going to happen. But this can come in handy if you have a huge number of crew die, you hit it, boom, got it back straight away. Now, automatic fire extinguisher. It's basically explicit. Instead of having to hit to put the fire out, it automatically engages after a second to put the fire out for you in your tank. Also gives you 10% protection against fire. So that's pretty good. Like normally if you get some of the top tier engines for your tank, they give you about 20% protection against flame. Some of them give 25, some give 10, just depends upon the tank really. And that's more or less exploring that yourself through the different tanks you play. So the automatic fire extinguisher, I would recommend it, but again, it's 20,000 credits. If you don't have all the credits, there's not much point in worrying about it. But that's 10%, automatically puts the fire out for you, so that means you don't have to worry about pushing a button. Then you got your small repair kit. Now, small repair kit just repairs one modular, or for instance, if you've got two damaged tracks, it will repair them. It will put your tracks back on, repair the track fully, and stuff like that. First aid kit only brings back one crew member if you use it, and the fire extinguisher, you got to hit, I think it's 6 normally to actually activate the fire extinguisher. So, but if I jump across to, say, Germany, close that, choose a German tank, and we go into here. If you look, they actually have chocolate that gives 10% to their crew training. Well, another different modification you can have is gasoline. So that's to replace the tea and pudding basically. So gasoline comes in 2 different varieties. You've got the 105 octane gasoline, gives you 10% to engine power and turret traverse speed for the course of the battle. So it's every time you go into battle, you're using that. The 100% octane gasoline only does 5% to engine power and traverse speed for the course of battle. So that's not too bad. I would probably go with that. The extra 10%, yes, it would be nice to have that extra 10% power to the motor, but sometimes, and the traverse speed, but sometimes you don't need to go that fast. Like, I think if my Japanese tank or my British tanks were any faster than the traverse speed, the thing would just wind off and go flying. Yawn again. I must be getting tired. I do need a bit of a nap. I haven't had a nap yet. So, that's another little one that I didn't cover before. I wonder if there's anything else. Let's click on the Tiger 2 and have a look at his tree. Nope, nothing new there. So if we zip over to, say, USA, click on him, go in here, they have Coca-Cola as their specialty for their crew. So that's different again. So you've got chocolate, Coca-Cola so far. Nothing new there. So if we go to Japan, the Japs have on theirs quality oil. Now this is a different one we haven't seen. Quality oil, it only gives engine power for the course of battle. It doesn't give you traverse speed like the other ones do. So there you go. There's something different that just pops up. Except they have Onia, I think it's pronounced, something like that, which gives you the 10% crew skill and perk for the course of the battle. I don't think I've got any of the tanks. Oh, USSR. I do have USSR. Why can I not remember something as important as that? So I click on the IS, and the Russians have extra combat rations that give them that. Remove speed governor. Now that'd be great to have on a TOG. Imagine a TOG going faster than 15k. Holy dooly, that would be incredible. But see, they have the lean less oil, which only gives them 5% to engine power. But the remove speed governor, now I've never seen this before, and I haven't used it either. So it's 10% to engine power, but damages the engine. Okay, multiple use. So obviously for a period of the battle or whatever it is, you activate that and you're going to do damage to your motor, but at the same time you're going to make you take 10%. Your engine's going to have 10% more power. So there's another little handy consumable. Oh, here comes trouble. What do you want, Lils? Lily, my dog, has just turned up. She's looking at me. Yes, Lil. Oh no, she's going to lie down on the couch next to me and stare at me. Clearly I need to be stared at while I'm doing tank reviews. So, I think that's pretty well covered, guys. There's not much else I can cover. I don't have any Chinese tanks, and I don't have. Oh, I do have French tanks. You'll see AMXs and stuff like that, and the duck tank. Their one is strong coffee to give the crew skills to. They have the gas and octane, all the octane gas varieties. So that's about all I can say, guys. So all these little things can help your tank out, along with sort of camo exterior paint. It does give some bonuses in concealment in the battle. So you imagine that this one's just painted the French green colour. I've painted this colour scheme, gives it a bit more in the snow weather. This one's a bit more in the summery sort of weather, and this one's the desert warfare style. So you've got all those things to consider when playing. So it does help out doing all this sort of stuff, paintwork, and I like painting them too. Putting my Australian flag on to say, hey, this is where I'm from. And I found this one in the thing, and I like the little sort of griffin dragon look symbol. So I do add that onto all my tanks. If I go back to my British tanks, where are we? UK. You have a look at, I think, Conqueror. I just had the Australian flag. Carnarvon has just got the Australian flag now. They can only have one. Black Prince, it had Australian flags on both sides. Didn't find that little griffin symbol back then. If I go to my FV215B, however, that's got the griffin symbol and the Australian flag on the other side. So I just add them because they mean a little bit to me. And the war paint on the sides of the tank, giving it an extra camo rating, does come in handy at times. Doesn't help a lot when you fire, but it helps that a little bit, and that's all that matters. So that's the exterior stuff, and as you can see here, you've got different emblems, all variety of military stuff as well, miscellaneous stuff, flags, which is huge. So, and then you got inscriptions. Each country has their own, as you know. Dogs of War is my one for my British. I actually don't know whether I put them on my AT. Let's have a look. AT2, do you have it? Yes, AT2 has it. So there you go. And he's also got the new griffin symbol on the side of him. So they're just little things, and you pay for gold when you do all that stuff. So I do spend a fair bit of money in the game. As you can see, if I go down to emblems, it's like 75 gold pieces, so it's not cheap. But a lot of time when they're on special, I do buy those things because they're just cheaper. Or if I really need to do it, I just do it. So comes in handy. So, but that's about it for me today, guys. Just a little bit of a review on tank consumables, that's tank consumables, and tank sort of modifications to improve it through whether it be gun, seeing further, engine power, cruise skills, sight distance, gun stuff, whether it be balancing, accuracy, and all that sort of stuff on the move accuracy. So all a variety of different things. So I hope it helps you guys out knowing this this bit of information. No real tanky stuff today, sorry, but it gives you that little bit of knowledge. I've played quite a few great games today already with Kaz. We've played a variety of different tanks. If I go back into my selected section, as you can see, my British TD is just not having much love. It just doesn't seem to want to win, and he's got a long way to go to the 28 prot, and I would love to get it. But Kaz, on the other hand, he's having a bit of a problem. Now, he went down the German side. I can't remember what tree he was in. Oh, that's right, he went down, and he's up to here to this PZF5, and it's not playing the game for him. Not sure whether he's got Top Gun or not on this. I don't think he has just yet. We've only both just got these tanks recently, so I'd say he hasn't. He had about a week off when I was playing mine, and I know for a fact I've got my Top Gun. Not as great as I would have hoped for, but it does the job nonetheless. So hopefully when I get up to the 28 prot and I get the tier 10 gun, that's going to be absolutely amazing. But not only is it going to be amazing, I can go for the next top tier gun, 276, 248, big upgrade for penetration. Damage goes up too on the T30, and I can't wait to get the T30. I think the T30 is a bit of a troll tank. I've versed it a few times, and it is one that I will fear to go up against. I think they are very dangerous. Probably will jump down to the fixed turret line once I get my prot, just to get the standard T28 fixed turret one. Then get the T95. The T95 I think is absolutely hilarious. The T1103 E3, I'm not so sure about. So But they're all another day, they're all another story. I gotta try and get my double star at least on this today. It's played, I think, 3 battles today. Lost all 3, very disappointing. Should have won the scumbag one today that we played, as you can see, M12 scumbag, but we didn't. Um, Only because our team decided to let an ELC AMX run through the base straight up to us and cause damage, and scumbags just homed in on us, which was very disappointing. So it didn't get much love today. It was sort of back to the garage, park it up, and don't go anywhere. So, but yeah, there you go, guys. Gun stuff. As you can see, they all cost silver for the tank upgrades. These can cost either silver or gold. So just like Premier rounds can be silver or gold. Just depends upon what your budget is and what you'd like to do, whether you've got gold or whether you've got lots of silver. So, or credits, whichever way you want to call them. I call it silver because it looks silver to me. But yeah, so, oh well guys, that'll be it for me. 30 minutes of me waffling on about everything that happens in this world that I play in. So yeah, happy hunting, and I will catch you next time.